Hello, guys. Welcome to a special edition of the Strongman Winner Circle podcast. Today, we're going to crossover because we have a special guest of Streetbike Tommy. Tommy is an expert stuntman, member of the show Nitro Circus. It was noted that Tommy had the most stunning physique of the crew. He's now a fitness enthusiast, our guest, Tommy Passemante. Thank you for coming on.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? What's happening?
Hey, thanks, Tommy. Yeah, so like this is kind of unique because normally we have Strongman Winter Circle. We keep it with the sport, but so we're going to talk to you a little bit for a couple of reasons. One, we'll get into it later. You are working with Strength Late now a little bit, so we'll but two, you are into fitness now. You came from this kind of crazy background where your job was kind of like being funny and putting your body on the line, right?
Yeah, and that's what led me to this fitness thing that I'm doing for the first time in my entire life. Is that I just started to feel very, very unhealthy. And then I just wasn't physically feeling good because in high school I could run through walls. I powerlifted in high school and that was like my extent of fitness, football, wrestling, the standard stuff that everybody does. But I've never felt not able to go up its, set of steps and shit like that. But this got to a point where I was having trouble putting my socks on.
Yeah.
So I decided, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to be the best me that I could ever be. And my goal is to drop to 180 pounds because that's the lightest I've ever been. And that was before high school. That was I think I was 14 years old when I was.
Let's say you want to go back to preteen years weight, huh?
Let's go.
When did you make that goal? In context, was that last year or recently?
It was a little bit it was about a year ago from this point right now. And then I was bullshitting with Nikolai Myers, who's training me now, who I'm staying with in Arizona. And yeah, man, he's got me on a strict program. I'm lifting almost every single day of the week and running. Strengthly's got me hooked up with nutrition. I just started that this week because I just kind of was winging it for a little bit and I was very, very hungry.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
But yeah, I'm on nutrition. I got powerlifting going on, strongman stuff. I'm running. I even brought my rollerblades with me. So I'm head down.
Man, I'll tell you what, people don't underestimate how much exercise you get just blading around town.
Oh yeah, dude. It's you'll have some sick looking calves, bro.
I was gonna say you want some big old calves. That's a secret blade.
Yeah.
You can't lift, you got a blade.
Yeah, make fun of all you want. I'm gonna have dope calves.
So I have a question. You said that you kind of you hit this breaking point where your body didn't feel good. You just felt like shit.
Yeah.
Do you think that maybe that wasn't your fitness and it was because in fact you are dead and not alive?
Oh man, yeah, I saw that on the internet, and lots of people tell me I'm dead all the time. People when they see me out in the street, holy shit, dude, the internet says you're dead.
Is it because Google on Wikipedia it says Tommy died in 2015.
Is it because the level of stunts you did just made people believe you were going to go too far one time, or what?
It's a combination of that and one of the main characters and a very good friend of mine passed away from the show in a skydiving accident. I think they got me and him confused because I guess they figured, if it's going to be anybody, it's going to be me because my success rate for any stunt that I've ever done, I don't know what the numbers are actually, but I've only had one successful thing, and that's that I landed a 252 stroke dirt bike backflip to dirt. And I crashed 6 times prior to actually landing it. So,
hey, that's a hell of a stunt to land, though.
Yeah, I wanted that under my belt, bro.
So, what? It's so crazy that someone from your background that we're talking to, just because you don't expect somebody that's that reckless to care about their health.
Yeah, well, you get to a point where you have to, because waking up every day, all the injuries added up, and I'm working with athlete chiropractic here in Arizona, who actually was our Nitro Circus tour chiropractor.
Oh, nice.
And he's a bit of you'd think he's a voodoo guy, because he does all that weird shit that's the stuff that you're that's not gonna work, and then all of a sudden my knee starts moving more than it has since I broke it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Now, you broke both of your knees, correct?
I didn't. So like the list for the one that everybody always asks about, the street bike crash, I only broke my foot. So, but I mean, I shattered my left foot. So all those little bones, I don't know if you'd count that as one break or just like a shit ton of like little bones.
Shit.
But I had a partial tear of my Achilles. I detached my left calf, and then on the right side, I tore my ACL, MCL, PCL, flipped my meniscus upside down. It was the only thing that was kind of holding my knee together with a partial LCL that didn't need to be replaced, but I replaced all three of the other ligaments. I have no cartilage in the right knee. I'm bone on bone. And then it's awful, but especially with this running, but
nope, I hear you.
Yeah, it feels a lot better doing it than not, because I feel like I'm building up all the stuff around it, and my legs actually feel better than they have since 2004 when that accident happened.
Great. That's amazing.
Yeah, dude, that's the only injury that I have that sticks with me to this day, every day. And then the second worst injury that I've sustained is just breaking my tailbone, because I broke my back at the same time, right around the same area as the tailbone. And that was from being blobbed off a skyscraper in Panama, and I landed in the seated position from roughly a 2-story building. Is about the height.
Wait. Why were you jumping off buildings in Panama?
So Travis wanted to do the first base jump off of a blob, and I was doing the blobbing from an unfinished floor on a 70+ story building in Panama. So like where I was standing, it was just an open stairwell that just wasn't finished yet. And we were jumping onto a blob that was on scaffolding that was on top of the 70+ story skyscraper. And like where I was standing, you couldn't see the edge of the building. Like it was awful. It just looked like I was jumping off a building with no parachute.
Sorry to interrupt you, but what was your mentality? What was your head at that time? Like, how did you convince yourself to make that jump?
You either do it or you don't. You don't get a chance to live with the mistake very long.
Okay. All right. I like that. That I dare say that's almost a winner's mentality here on the Winner's Circle podcast. And I got to say though, another thing I do like to kind of, I'm going to talk about is it's not like you do this stuff for free. You've created a nice life and career for yourself. So you took something that could have been bad, those epic crashes and, getting hurt so much, and you kind of turned it into a career, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm probably the most successful failure ever to live.
That's a winner, though.
If that makes any sense.
That's what winners do. They fail and turn that failure to success.
Damn right. Let's go.
Love it. So, going back a little bit to kind of your career with like what you did, I saw somewhere, I haven't seen this episode. I don't know how, because I watch the show all the time, but you did an episode of Impractical Jokers.
So they actually, I wasn't.
Ooh, we losing him?
Oh, we lost.
There we go. I'm back.
Yep, there we are.
How's that?
Yeah, Impractical Jokers. They were working with like Trav and like the live crew. I wasn't particularly around at that moment because I'm living a gypsy lifestyle for like the last 3 years. Pretty much since COVID.
Collecting tears.
Yeah, all I do is I ride around in my truck, and I've been going from place to place, hanging out with friends, doing rad stuff that I want to do for the first time in my life, because everything's always been on a schedule, and like Nitro says jump and I say how high, but there was nothing wrong with that. I got to see the world 5 times over and have a shit ton of fun while I was doing it. But right now I'm just kind of gypsy lifestyle, seeing where the chips fall. And I just pretty much go somewhere and I fall back on my carpentry background, and I've just been building rad like wood shit.
That's awesome, man. That sounds like you're like living the life, like you're living the life you want, right?
for 3 years, I've just been bouncing around this country because COVID. I had a restaurant, and COVID killed my barbecue restaurant. I had to shut down with COVID because I was just a little over a year old.
Oh wow.
I had no lines of credit and stuff like that. So like when the government shut everything down, I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm done with that for now.
Wow. Jeez, I'm sorry. That sucks.
But yeah.
What was the barbecue place called? Was it?
I mean, but Looney Bin Barbecue. It's still on Google in Maryland. I got like 4.7 stars. Yeah, I got 4.7 stars still, I think.
Oh, good. That's good. That's hard to
Yeah.
get on Google. That's hard to get. Usually people are vicious.
Yeah, I'm killing it on Google. I got the best brisket there is. But I didn't get a chance to meet those guys personally, but Nitro did do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Nitro did do a few things with
My
with
mistake.
their-
That was my mistake. See, that's why I never saw you. See, I knew there's a reason. I saw
Yeah.
all of them.
Well, so like I get all the time, like people kind of mix me up, and like that goes along with like the me dying thing. It's kind of like the persona kind of takes on its own animal sometimes. Because like everybody thinks I'm the guy. Everybody says, "Don't go right."
Well, so like,
'Cause,
but to be fair though, like what they kind of like never really addressed it. Like you just, you know what I mean? Like there was no like farewell.
Oh yeah. Well, dude, there's a couple like farewell videos on YouTube like kids came up with.
Oh, I mean like on the show though.
Oh yeah.
So,
No,
like-
they never did a in memory of. Fuck
So like
no.
when you watch it, it was just all of a sudden like, wait a minute, hey, where the fuck's Tommy?
Yeah. Yeah. So that it's kind of weird because we've jumped around from network to network. We started on MTV. We actually started with a bunch of DVDs back in the day. And everybody confuses me with this kid that turned right on the foam pit and missed the foam pit. But I went completely over and I was straight. So, but we did MTV. We had NBC Sports. It was on CMT for a minute. Like we've done a bunch of different things. And like I was on Ridiculousness and Jackass and all that shit too.
Yeah.
So, I get confused a lot for different things just because I think I've been all over the map. You know,
I think it's because you have a beard and all dudes with beards look alike.
dude, bro, yeah, how many times that motherfuckers tag me on Instagram and they're like, bro, I found your doppelganger. And then like they tag my Streetbike Tommy, right? And like I'll click it and I'll see it and I'm like, bro, for real? I mean, nothing against that guy, but he's literally just a fat dude with a beard.
Whether they
Nobody
tag you
sees-
like
nobody
a
sees
picture of
past the beard.
Hagrid.
Yeah, nobody sees past the beard. That's all we see.
Hey, I mean, you know, I'm a good-looking bearded dude, so I ain't mad at it.
So kind of all right. So moving a little bit kind of off subject, new subject. So recently
Yeah.
there's been like this
Yeah.
new almost extreme sport kind of infiltrating called slap fighting.
Oh,
No.
bro.
I only bring this up because you come from an extreme sport background and this is kind of a new thing. So what do you think of this? Just slapping people.
I mean, I feel like I could slap some people, but I feel like dudes in my weight class would slap the shit out of me.
Is this something you would try?
No. No, dude.
I feel like that it's people that can really put their momentum into the slap and also have just some people are just born with heavy hands. Those are like
Yeah.
the winners. So like of course I think the American champion is the Hawaiian guy who's of course and their culture is all about slapping.
I want to do it.
Oh,
I want to do it once. I want to slap fight. I want to do it.
Bro. That Russian dude?
I got some heavy hands, so like I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Well, you're a big boy. Like I feel like you could definitely take and give a badass slap, but like, man, I feel like you're welcoming just like,
It is potential disaster. But
yeah.
I mean, what's the worst that gonna happen? I
guess-
get knocked out. Ooh.
Oh no. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who hasn't done that 50 times?
Yeah, right. See?
Yeah.
I mean, even if I live, I'll end up like you, dead on the internet, maybe.
Yeah. And I feel like if you crush it, you know, you're going to become like this dude of lore, you know, just slapping motherfuckers.
And it's gonna be with this mustache too. Like they're gonna have to look
no,
at this.
you have to. You cannot lose the handlebar at all.
Yeah. So like, yeah, they had at the Arnold. They had one of the biggest crowds I saw at the Arnold was around the slap fighting.
Oh, I don't doubt that at all. I mean, that's just that's a big time.
People want to see people
novelty.
get knocked out.
It's human nature.
Yeah.
They're just like it's wild. It's like,
And-
of all the things going on, all the impressive like feats going on, they just want to see dudes get slapped.
But it's a slap, so it's like it's just generally disrespectful. You
It
know,
is. Like,
And
imagine if your job was to slap people. Like, I can't imagine something better.
bro.
Like, your job is to disrespect people all the time.
Yeah, especially if you're so like if you're king shit slapper, I would totally understand. But
Yeah,
if
I
you're
guess
just
that's right.
dude, like I mean, they keep playing that one guy with them big old ear hoops, and he like gets smoked by that one dude.
Yeah, I saw
and
that.
like so forever, you're just gonna be that guy.
Yeah, that's true. Because I guess you don't know how you're gonna do till you start doing it, so you don't want to get knocked out a bunch over and over.
Yeah,
I don't know.
you know, I mean, whatever, dude. You can go viral and kill it.
How do you develop a chin for slap boxing? Do you need someone just to like keep slapping you in the face?
Yeah, I would do.
Yeah.
You know how like I would just have Ariana. You gotta start with a woman. I'd have my girlfriend just slap me a bunch of times a day.
Yeah, I feel like
Start
I
with
don't
that.
have. Yeah, just build up the tolerance. But like, I feel like I don't have the neck for it. Like,
Ooh, that's
I broke.
Oh, yeah, that's a good
broke my
point.
neck.
A lot of it's the movement. If your head moves a lot, you're screwed.
Yeah, so I broke my neck, like a few vertebrae in my neck, and one of them's kind of growing inward to my spinal cord that I might have to get surgery on soon.
Oh, don't slap fight, please.
Yeah, so I feel like slap fight would not be good for me. But I
Yeah,
feel
that
like
is not.
it just looks like they turn your head like it's
Yeah.
like boom.
And like you can do the cool thing about the slap is like the velocity. You don't have to you don't have to pull it at all because it's not a closed fist. You're not going to break anything.
Right.
So yeah, it's pretty violent. Yeah. So I just want to bring that up because it was something new I saw and it reminded me of I don't know the old school extreme sport nonsense.
Well, that's what I miss about action sports in general. Like when I was growing up, dude, X Games had like bungee kayaking, bro. Like that was a real event. I want that. If somebody out there has that medal, like I will, and you want to make some money, like sell me that medal.
That is pretty unique event and pretty wild. That sounds really cool.
Yeah. They had some really good ones back in the day, like snow shovel, downhill racing, like where you sit on snow shovel.
Oh, shit.
You ride snow shovels. Like that was an event.
And they probably still got paid more than Strawman.
Probably. Dude, it's unfortunate what Strongman make, dude.
You don't even know you don't even know the half of it. Oof.
Yeah, dude. I mean, just the tip of the iceberg. I just see what Nikolai deals with, and I'm like, bro, you're the world champ, and like that's what they're throwing at you, bro.
Well, that's what we're working towards, kind of as a community. We're trying to increase that for everyone. That guys like why guys like Nick and me kind of came together. It was just that's how it works. People that want to do better get together and do better, right?
Yeah, 90 kilo. You know, of course, we'll talk about our 105 kilo woes, but the 90 kilo men being hit even harder, even less opportunity.
They do, and they're very impressive. I know some like Nick, 90 kilo guy can hit a mid 200 dumbbells. That's insane. And that's pure insanity. There's a lot of guys that are heavyweights that can't do that.
Right.
So it would be an interesting mix with, of course, guys like Nick is making guys from England that used to compete in the 90 kilo come out. One guy's name is Shane. Actually, you talked to him, Anthony, recently. Yeah. St. Germain. So it would be pretty interesting. But I had a couple of interesting questions for you, Mr. Tommy. But you've traveled the world. You mentioned, of course, 6 times over. But what have you learned the most from your travels abroad?
That everybody's the same.
Ooh.
Like their people are not different anywhere you go. They have their little cultural bugaboos, of course, like because we as people are just very tribish. Everybody loves their little tribe. And like they kind of like you have your like things that you do that makes you your group you, but people in general are exactly the same. It was very eye-opening to see that people are just people no matter where you go in the world. They have everybody has a general consensus, like just be the best you can be and don't be mean to each other, and everybody's very cool and open to new things. It's just when you get in these small little niche places that they've never left their little area, and like they have this whole like opinion of the world. It's like, oh, you Americans this, you Americans that. And it's like, am I that? And they're like, well, no. Like, well, I'm like 90% of America,
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's
that's my experience too. Well, everyone across the world, they want the same things. They want to live a happy life with a family.
Right. Yeah.
You know.
And like the world is a tiny, tiny place. You know, growing up as a kid, like I'd hear about, you know, say like those nuclear disasters that you hear about all overseas. You're like, what the fuck? That's you know, that's over in Japan or whatever. Yeah, it's a little place. Well, guess where all that fallout went? You know,
Yeah,
jet stream.
Yep. No, I agree. That's an interesting answer though. That's that's pretty cool. That shows you're a people person. You're a man of the earth.
I tell you what. So funny story, like, because I actually get out amongst it. Like, I don't just like travel and try to like go see like touristy things. I mean, I do all that, but I legit for a long time was just like going around to like house parties and stuff like when we get places, because I like to throw down a bit and have a few. And like we would literally get somewhere and I'd go out because I didn't have to ride it in the live tour. Like my job was just basically like, hi, I'm Streetbike Tommy, you know. So I could show up pretty banged up, you know. And so the nights before I would be out on the town, like going to house parties and like getting down with people that are just randomly having a party. And
wait,
I would
so like would you just like walk through neighborhoods to find a house party?
Yeah, dude, like universities, like you name it.
No shit.
I swear to God. And like once I got there, I would have a pocket full of tickets because everybody was like, "Oh, you're doing a show in town?" You know, if they didn't know about it.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yeah, come check it out." And I would just hand out like handfuls of tickets. And it's funny because you could always see where those tickets were the next day in the show because they were getting super loose. Like, oh my God, I know that guy.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's actually that's pretty dope. You don't see a lot of people that are able to do that, put everything aside, and just go mingle.
Oh man,
you know.
Yeah, and because like a lot of the riders, like they have a lot going on, you know, the night before the show, and they can't ride banged up and stuff like that. But dude, I was a shitbag on tour, you know. And
hey, a self-aware shitbag is one of the best shitbags you could be.
Yeah, but I'm a fun shitbag, man.
And then a fun self-aware shitbag. Look at you.
Yeah, but that's kind of what led me to this, is just because my nutrition in general, I never really realized how bad it actually was.
Yeah.
Like my resting heart rate before I started this, and I thought I was in decent shape because I had been running a little bit coming up to it, and it was only after New Year's that I actually started. But you know, I felt pretty healthy coming into it compared to where I have been in the past. And my resting heart rate was 100, and currently, as I'm looking at my watch, it's 56.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and like my blood pressure went from like 153 over like 113. Like that was just like a general normal blood pressure for me.
Yeah.
To now I'm target. I'm 120 over 70 consistently.
That's awesome, dude. Like that's really good to hear, because like you hear so many people get in this for different reasons, and you actually do get it for your health reasons and then accomplish them. That's a huge thing. So congrats.
And I appreciate it big time, because like I actually never realized, because I started battling like in the last 5 years, like right as soon as like my early 30s happened, I started dealing with, like, I never had anxiety before. I started dealing with these gnarly panic attacks and stuff like that. And like since I've started living healthier, I've changed nothing mentally, and I just feel so much better, and I haven't had any anxiety at all. Like I've had no panic attacks whatsoever since it started. I just in general that like generally feeling better. Like I haven't felt this good since I've been in my 20s.
Hey, so you heard it here, folks. Take care of your physical health. It helps your mental health as well.
Big time, man.
I agree with that statement. I definitely agree with that. It's everything you do to your body and puts into your body affects your mind. So
yeah, like just the diet and everything, man. It's like I in general feel better.
For me, it was I had some battles myself with alcohol, some pretty decent ones, and you know, for me, like I got to the point where I knew I was bad, but I didn't think it was that bad, and then I realized, you know, I was kind of like a functioning alcoholic, and once I finally got off it, I wake up every day before like 7 a.m. and no problem, like, you know, things like little things like that, like I wake up in a better mood. And
yeah, Dude, my favorite thing in the world was blacking out for a little while. Like, I thought it was hilarious that like I would just check Twitter to see where I was the night before.
Oh my God.
Like, no joke, dude. There are pictures of me sleeping on a bus stop bench outside of LA during X Games and stuff like that. Like, you hear the stories and you're like, that's funny. But I'm like, oh, I almost died. Fuck.
Well, yeah, because like you don't realize how dangerous that could be until it's too late sometimes. So I'm glad you realized it before,
Right.
before it's too late too.
Oh, dude, fully. Like, and it like later in life, like, okay, you can get away with it in your teens and your early 20s, but man, like the one thing in your 30s that you'll realize is like, man, this could all be gone in 2 seconds. You know?
Yeah. You get perspective. You don't feel invincible anymore.
Yeah, and
I feel it, man. I feel the same way. When I first got in the sport as opposed to now, like when I was doing wild shit when I was first young in the sport.
Sure was.
Just because I could, because I felt good and I didn't. There was no consequence. I was in my 20s. And now I'm 30.
Yeah.
I'm 34, and I feel everything I do now.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy, man. Like it really, really is crazy. How big a difference 7-8 years makes.
Yeah.
You know.
So I have a few more questions before we finish up here.
Yes. Sorry to interrupt. Yeah.
Yeah. So Nick, do you want to take one? Then I'll take one. I have 2 left. What do you got?
You have 2 left. You go ahead.
So like my big one, one thing we talked about Nick Myers. Kind of like how'd you meet Nick? Like what got us here?
Uncle Nick, man, Uncle Nick. So it all started like 5 years ago. We were both at a charity event for abused animals that have been like left behind for it's called the Softside Foundation in Maryland, and they do an event called Project Runway, where they get all the celebrities that they can get to take these abused animals that are looking for homes, and they walk a runway like a model runway with the animals in tow, in order to get people excited about bidding on like to get these animals, and they get like a crazy like adoption rate that night, and even a lot of the celebrities that come in, they adopt a lot of animals too. It's a really cool event. But we were at the same event backstage, and I had seen Miles on TV with the Ravens because I'm a Ravens fan.
Boo.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Baltimore, bro.
Steelers.
I ain't mad at you because, like, are you from, Pennsylvania?
Yeah, from that area.
So that to me, I can't be mad at. It's only when I have somebody that grew up in Baltimore being like a Pittsburgh fan, I'm all like, you're the worst kind of person. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. So I don't get that balled up in sports. I mean, I hate them, and I probably hate you right now, but no. So I met Miles and him backstage, and we got bullshitting, and I was all like, yeah, I used to powerlift in high school, so strong, blah 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 blah. And he was all like, come by the gym and let's like work out. I do all the strongman stuff, and that stuff looked really cool to me. So I went ahead and started working out at the gym, and I was making some serious progress, getting stronger, because that was the only like goal back then, was to get stronger. And I was about a year in, and COVID shut down Never Safe, where Nikolai was, coach, like part running of that, and like him and Brian, but they shut it down with COVID because it was dangerous or whatever. And then like I pretty much started my gypsy lifestyle, so I fell off, and like I put weight on big time. You know what I mean? Like I was just eating all the fast food and being on the road, like, whatever, I'll just stop and grab a burger. Well, guess what? Like now that I know more about nutrition, thanks to Strengthly, my sodium intake was around between 13 and 15,000 milligrams a day of sodium.
Woo.
Yeah. And like it was very eye-opening, working with you guys, as to how crazy nutrition is and how bad I was really doing life. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Sometimes you don't know until you know,
Yeah.
But traveling,
so,
but
like,
traveling on the road is it's really hard to stay on a good diet. That's probably
It is. That's probably the hardest thing.
Finding healthy options on the road.
Well, the thing is, like, there's healthy options, but like for me, I'm trying to keep my cholesterol down. Dude, there's literally buckets of sodium in everything. Like
everything.
Like everything. If you don't purchase raw material and cook it yourself, it is sodium block.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
We love
so that's actually a pretty cool segue for me into my final question, actually, because I'm glad you brought the Strawman up.
Yeah.
You know, so you've been at least around the sport from a distance for a while now, knowing Nick.
Yeah, he did the Arnold, man. It was wild.
Yeah. So my question is, who is your favorite Strawman athlete?
Of all time?
All time.
Probably Bill.
Kazma.
Yeah.
Is it because he's insane?
Yeah. It was dude. Like I grew up watching strength sports. Like, I miss the old school, like, big fat guy. The
O.D. Wilson.
Yeah, like, so, like, those guys, like, kind of reminded me of my dad. He's gonna probably be angry if he ever sees this, but back in the day, like, he was like that stature, like, he looked like but he was a drywall man, so, like, he was really strong, but, like, not that great of shape. He's in great shape now. Like, he's like 165 pounds, 6 foot guy, you know, but he's you know, creeping on 75.
Ooh, lucky. Good.
Yeah.
Go dad. That's good.
Yeah, he's getting up there. But yeah, man, Bill Kaz, like, you know, he was always the guy. I just dug his attitude. But
yeah, he had a champion mindset for sure.
Yeah.
Bulging eyes on squats.
Yeah.
But nowadays, just knowing, you know, strength and stuff, I'm gonna have to say Nikolai Myers.
Oh, Uncle Nick, Big Nick with the win, taking the W home.
Yeah, he's actually really fun to watch.
He's good. He's a good athlete. He's intense. He's very focused. He's very technically sound.
And now he's a TikToker, so follow him on TikTok.
Oh my God, TikTok! Stay off TikTok. Everyone, get off TikTok right now.
The TikTok is a better algorithm, and you see what you want to see.
I have one, but I didn't do anything with it yet. I just wanted to start it just so there wouldn't be a fake me, because the reason why my Instagram is street_bike_Tommy, because this kid already had Streetbike Tommy when I started my Instagram. So
shit. Yeah, that's see, that I understand. But I'm not a fan of TikTok. But that's because I'm old. People with this mustache aren't on TikTok.
Well, it's misunderstood. Misunderstood.
Listen, man, Trump told me that it was a bunch of pedophiles on there, and that's all I believe from now on.
Yeah. Pizzagate.
Jesus.
Yeah, Pizzagate.
So, Streetbike Tommy, you've what have you learned from hanging out with guys like Travis Pastrana, someone that's always pushing the limits?
His mindset is insane. Travis is who he is because he can compartmentalize, like, the weirdest things. Like, when he goes for mega stunt, like, so when we were in California during the filming of the TV show, and they wanted him to do a backflip or a backflip variation, if he felt comfortable, over an 80-foot gap, building to building in Los Angeles. So the roofs, from roof to roof of a 10+ story building in LA, and he wasn't worried about the gap at all. Like, that wasn't even in his psyche. Like, you could see that it wasn't. I'm all like, bro, if you mess that up, like, that's it. He's all like, bro, like, it's a jump that I do 50 times a day. Like, that distance doesn't change with that gap there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess that's very important though, because you can't let that infiltrate your mind, because then that would cause the problem.
Yeah, like, as he is into something, like, the way he can break things down so simply is something that I'm very jealous of, and I've tried to improve on myself. And he's just such a great person in general, because, like, the one thing that, like, people don't know, Travis, he's like a really good friend too. Like, he's one of the most successful dudes on the planet, you know. he never, I guarantee he'll never have to worry about money ever again, or his children won't either. But like, he legit will be there. Like if like, I've had a big night in Annapolis, and somebody's like hit him up and be like, yo, bro, come get your boy. And he's like, picked me up from Annapolis, like, because he heard I was having a big night. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he's like that kind of dude. Like, you don't have to ask for anything, because he's there as a good friend and a good person. And like, I've seen him after event, like sit in a chair signing autographs for 6+ hours, because he will not leave until the last person has their autograph. You know,
that's freaking cool. Yeah, you like to hear stuff about that, guys like that, because that's amazing. Because that means a lot to a lot of people, I bet.
Yeah. And even bigger than that, this is something that nobody will ever know, unless they listen to your podcast, because it's the first time I'm ever telling anybody about it. But this is like just to kind of, you know, pay homage to the guy. He's like a good dude in all things. Like, so in the DVD days, like, we had 6-7 DVDs that were successful in, like, you know, Walmart and like motorcycle shops and stuff like that. And like, that's how we got our start before MTV. And nobody ever made a paycheck. Like, well, if somebody did, I never made a paycheck. So Nitro, we did that. All those DVDs, we did the TV show, MTV show, and then we did the 3D movie. And then right about that time, Nitro Circus sold to a bigger company, that, you know, it went from Godfrey Entertainment to actually like a big company, like Nitro Circus, the company. Well, Travis got a big payout, and Greg Godfrey and all those guys, all the producers, they got a big payout because they were owners of the company. Well, Travis was the only one that took half of what he made and split it amongst the people that were in the original movie fairly, on how they were in the movie. So like, he took half of what he was paid for that sale and split it up and divvied it amongst everybody that was like helped with that original series.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. Awesome. Wow. That's really cool. That's
taking care of his people.
Yeah, that's respect. Respect. I got respect right there for that. That's awesome.
And it wasn't even just like me and like the basic like main characters. Like, my buddy, who's just a construction guy, he was part of the original slip and slide bits back in the day, and he just stopped by after work one day, and he ended up doing some rad shit on the slip and slide that ended up making it in the DVD. And like, that was probably 10 years prior to this actual event of Travis doing this split, like the money split. And out of nowhere, my buddy, who's just a regular construction guy, got a check for $2,500 in the mail just because he stopped by and did slip and slide at Travis' house one day.
That's freaking cool.
Yeah, it was wild, man. Like, he is genuinely like one of the best dudes I've ever met in my life.
Well, that is fantastic to hear. And you know what, Nick? I think we're gonna end the episode on that, because that's amazing. That's a great story. I mean, we got nowhere to go from there.
We do want to know. So what do our listeners have in store in terms of like future plans for Streetbike Tommy?
So I want to hit my goal and like be fit as fuck. And then like, I'm currently going to be working on getting my own YouTube kicked off, where you'll see all things overlanding. So like my gypsy lifestyle, bouncing around, traveling the country, going to cool, like rad, off the wall, off the grid places. Everything from that to like
Strongman test.
You should come to Clash in April.
Dude, I'm down.
It's like, Hilton Head, South Carolina, man.
Mr. Myers will be there.
Yeah. Talk to Nick. You should come hang out. It's going to be an epic weekend.
Does Gypsy on?
Is that where he's doing his dumbbell?
Yep.
All right. Yeah. I'm all right. Yeah, I might be down for that.
Hell yeah.
And then like cooking and stuff like that. Yeah. So you're gonna see all kinds of stuff, like building tips, basic thing, like basic knowledge. You know, everybody should know how to change the oil. So I'm gonna be doing all kinds of stuff.
I like that. Cool, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so everyone look out for the Streetbike Tommy YouTube channel coming soon.
Hey,
And
yep.
be sure to go to Streetbike Tommy on Instagram, follow the man on TikTok, apparently follow the man. Facebook, you got the Facebook and everything too?
Yeah. I'm verified on everything except Twitter, I think.
God damn.
All right. Okay,
Twitter, get in line. All
yeah,
right.
he's from Nitro Circus. He's famous. Give him a check mark. Damn.
All right, Tommy, you have the last word.
I like to party.